Yeah. Wish I could paint all love moments in vibrant. Even wordplay turns into gunplay. Gunplay turns into pillow talk. Pillow talk turns into sweet dreams. Sweet dreams turn into coffee in the morning.
Morning,
All
good
right. Good morning. Good morning. Good
morning.
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 All right. Let everybody buffer in. Okay. Good morning, guys. This is episode 3 of Coffee to Go. Sorry we wasn't, here last week. We took a self-care week.
much needed.
Everybody's getting their
Much
shit together.
needed.
I know personally I was.
I don't know about
But-
getting any shit together, but definitely.
how you guys doing? How was your guys' 2 weeks? We had 2 weeks off. How was these 2 weeks?
I was dealing with my dad having a hip replacement, so yeah. You know, with COVID, you can't go to the hospital to visit, so it's like a full-time job trying to call the doctors, nurses, whoever, and get updates.
Right. Yeah.
How's he feeling now?
He's doing better now. Now he's in the nursing home doing the rehab,
Good.
physical therapy and stuff. He's been there for like a couple of days now.
All right. David, how have you been, man? How's everything? You text me. You was a little worried about me.
Yeah. I text him, "Are you okay?" But for me, I've just been sleeping, keeping myself to like a good bedtime, reading. I fixed my guitar. I got this guitar a while ago.
Cool.
Nice.
Got a little nice little guitar strap. I got it fixed, so I've been just playing and just having a good time.
Lessons, David.
That's actually I'm working
My
on that.
My nieces got guitars for Christmas.
Let's talk later. But other than that, it's been good.
Giselle, how have you been?
I've been okay. You know, everything is everything. I feel like
Everything's even
being
killed.
a good cat mom.
cat mom. I got my baby spayed yesterday, and she's not happy with me at all. I feel so bad. But
They get over it fast. That's a good thing.
Yeah, they heal pretty fast. And do you have them no? Because when I spayed Luna and Selena, we actually just bought like a little bodysuit. Do you have that, or you're just letting them?
No,
or you have the cone?
but I heard I have the cone, but I don't like the cone. And I saw the bodysuit on Amazon, and I think I'm gonna get that because she can't get comfortable to lay down. She can't get into her own little crawly spots to hide.
She can't eat.
She can't eat. Yeah, she can't eat.
They get crust on the cone.
Ew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, damn, I'm sorry, baby, but you.
I took it earlier for a couple of minutes, and she had already started licking the incisions. So I was like, nah, this has to go back. I have to order one.
All right. Well, this episode is going to be a little bit unorthodox because instead of coffee, everybody has tea today. But we'll get into that in a little bit because we're going to spill some tea. I got to do the quotation mark. Got to spill some tea. Before we get into that, I want to talk about this coffee thing. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but me personally, when I'm drinking coffee, as soon as if it's hot, as soon as my coffee gets cold, I either have to make another cup of coffee or heat it up. But 9 times out of 10, I have to make another one. It just doesn't taste the same heating up. If you throw it in the microwave, it just doesn't taste the same. I don't know.
I've never in my life heated up coffee in the microwave.
You just made a whole new
Don't
cup.
taste the same.
Yeah, I just always make a whole new cup. Yeah.
But you know what bothers me? It's okay, so you're drinking it hot, and then it gets cold, but it's not the same as when you drink iced coffee, because maybe it's a psychological thing. You're already expecting it to be cold, So like, if he gets cold, is it like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, is that a psychological thing, or is that like a like
it loses its flair? It's like I'm cold
Ooh,
now.
that was a good way to
You
put
can't
it.
drink me.
Right, exactly.
I never really, like, you know, that always really bothered me because it's like I like iced coffee, but like I much prefer hot coffee. So when it gets cold, it's like essentially it's kind of like having iced coffee, but it's not. You
It's
know, like,
lukewarm coffee.
yeah, you know,
I don't
it's
want that
just
looky. I want it
yeah.
cold.
Yeah, man. It's either you got to start it off cold or it's like it's just got to be hot. Like, it could
And
be
then iced coffee. Like iced coffee, I feel like it doesn't taste the same unless you buy it. Try to
Ice.
make it at home. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I feel like iced coffee is like a treat. Like you gotta go to
Mhm.
Dunkin' Donuts. I don't go to Starbucks, but like you gotta go get the iced coffee.
And once the ice
Yeah, I
melts, it
don't.
changes
I
everything
don't.
too. That's
Yeah,
another
yeah,
story. That's another story.
too. It's like I can't do the whole watery thing. Like you gotta like I usually get like a little bit of ice, but get it small because once the ice melts, like once you don't have that, you know, it's like it's done. It's done.
I drink it fast. I always drink iced coffee fast, like
You have
2
to drink
sips, because I don't want the ice to melt.
Yeah, it's true. Because then you get that watery coffee. And
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So as I was
A
saying,
watery iced coffee is worse than cold hot coffee. Can we
oh
agree
no,
on
no,
that?
Yes.
not a doubt.
yes,
Not
Yes.
a doubt.
yeah.
Agreed.
Nah,
That's
something
like
that we
close
can
to
all
garbage truck juice. Right there. Like good cups of coffee and then like watery. What was it? Cold cup of coffee and then ice. Watered
You might
down
have to
ice.
draw this out for us, David. You might have to draw this
Yeah.
out.
You know, boom,
You got,
boom,
you
boom,
got to
boom.
have to make a chart. Next
Yeah.
episode,
It's
David's
all
gonna
gonna
make
make
a chart.
sense.
So this episode is tea to go. We're having tea today, and the reason why is because we have a special guest, my good friend Johnny D, who is a fellow rapper, who I do another podcast with, Not Your Mans, and we review music weekly. So he will be joining this episode very shortly, and he actually is like a whole vegan. He's on this vegan I'm gonna let him explain it, but he does this whole vegan journey and everything. He made his own vegan bacon. I'm gonna let him explain that, and he could, I guess, get into the vegan lifestyle. Me personally, I don't do the whole vegan thing. I much rather. I mean, I don't know. I'm a carnivore at heart. I want real bacon. Like, there's nothing like the smell and the taste of actual bacon. But you know, to each their own. You know, I can't knock anybody for wanting the the vegan lifestyle. Yeah, I can't knock any
alternatives.
But me personally, you know, like I said, I much rather
I'm willing to try. I'm like me too.
I mean, no,
Yeah,
I would try it.
But
I would try
if
it.
it tastes good, I'll try it.
Yeah,
I'll try anything too. I'm not really picky.
Yeah, I'm just more of the much rather the real thing. But we're gonna
even if you had
want the
one
sauce.
meal substituting bacon for an alternative, you do lessen your carbon footprint. Just once a week.
yeah, that's not gonna be
Thanks
me.
for that tip.
That's not gonna be me.
That's what they say. Try like to do like
Yeah,
the meatless Mondays or whatever. Like even if you don't eat meat just one day a week, it does help the planet a little bit.
Well, I try to do that. I try to like have something like an alternative for that. But I mean, it's I don't go the vegan route. I much rather like have fish instead, or I'll have like I have like a black bean burger or something like that.
Ooh,
you know,
yeah.
something
you
to
go.
Yeah, something, I guess.
That's vegan.
Or you could just not eat meat one day. Just eat some rice and beans and some vegetables.
That's it.
Yeah, you eat meat
I
every
need
single
some
day.
type of meat, even if it's the alternative. Even if it's the alternative.
Do we know him? Do we know Lewis over there, Bacon King?
Yeah, come on, guys. You guys know I can put back by myself. I mean, come on, guys. Come on.
You got a strip of bacon right underneath that camera too, ready.
Right. I should. No, I didn't. As a matter of fact, I had We had pulled out the bacon from the freezer and had it the other day. I think it was like Thursday or something like that. Thursday or Friday.
I haven't had bacon in I don't even know how long. A long time.
Just don't have it that often because I don't like to make it.
I don't think anybody truly likes to make it. Like, I mean, the whole process of like making bacon,
defrosting it, and
like nobody likes it. And then like when you touch it, it's just so slimy, but it comes out so good. Like, it's just so good. You know?
I don't know how they do it in the restaurants. You try to like put it in the pan, then you got the oil, then you put it on like on a sheet, and then the oil drips down, and then like you gotta clean that shit up. Like, no. Like,
there we go.
Oh, here we go. Hello. Good morning, Johnny.
Hold on. Let me get my audio up. I got to change my settings. Hold on. The usual. Speakers. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
How come I can't hear you guys?
Just our mouths are moving. Okay, everybody say something bad about Johnny.
I can hear you guys now.
All right.
I was recording.
Hey, that wasn't nice to say about Johnny. Now he's like,
imagine. I wouldn't even be upset about it, honestly. If it was anything, I wouldn't be upset. I take nothing lightly. Nothing. I take no offense. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Johnny. Okay, Johnny. This is Giselle, Lauren, David, and you already know myself. And we're missing one of our other co-hosts. She has COVID, and get well soon, Shani. We love you. You know, but she needed an extra week of self-care. So,
yeah,
so,
gotta fast. Gotta fast and drink a lot of water.
Yep,
it's the best way.
So this is the alternative episode, the tea to go. And we was just talking. I was just telling my castmates about your vegan bacon. It's his own vegan bacon. He makes a lot of things vegan. He does his.
It's crunchy.
His thing. But go ahead. You could go ahead and tell us. About your vegan lifestyle.
Honestly, I did that for a while back in the day. I usually jump on and off. So I like to say that I'm like a full-time vegan. So I'm off on weekends sometimes. But it was more for like health stuff. It's for like health stuff. But during COVID, I really was like, all right, instead of just doing like the boring, I'm just gonna eat a bunch of vegetables, and instead of like piling in on processed stuff, I was like, I'm gonna just learn how to make all sorts of things. So I actually started working on like a bit of a cookbook type thing that I have just been creating and like mixing and trying different things, and like, you know, just my own sort of stuff, a little mix of like YouTube University and all that. So I've just been having a good time. And I don't tell people about things until it's approved. So usually it's got to be approved by my 4-year-old. If I can trick him, then I'm like, all right, I succeeded, you know. But I don't come out here just, you know, with some cauliflower like it tastes like chicken, you know. It's none of that stuff, none of that fake stuff. It's got to hit or it doesn't, you know.
That's your quality control. 4-year-old, these are like
they're
good at
honest. Yeah, they're brutally honest.
They're brutal. Yeah. I mean, I should know. I got 3. Lauren got 2 over there. They're brutal. They will tell you if they don't like it or not.
Yeah.
Like, well, the hell is this, Daddy? Like,
especially if you tell them what it is. That's what the worst. Like that bacon, I was like, oh, have some bacon, and he was like, tastes like bacon, doesn't look like bacon. I'm like, that works. I'll take that.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
So what kind of tea is everybody drinking today?
Ooh, so I got me a CBD mint tea. So this is some.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is nice. Yeah, it's like a
How
CBD.
are we supposed to follow up after that?
Right?
I know, right?
What's the brand for that?
No,
It's got green tea.
So the CBD stuff is like a regular green tea. I don't know what that. I don't even remember what the brand was, but the mint tea is some mint that my lady brought by. She had a bunch of fresh mint, so I dehydrated it and I like, you know, threw it in the mix with some other stuff. So that's the tea that I'm rocking with today. So
you make your own tea?
Yeah.
How's that process go?
It's long, man. The dehydrator is kind of loud, and I feel like it. Whenever I do use it, the electric bill goes up a little bit. But it's good though. I use it for a lot of things too. Like I use it for like if I'm gonna do like chickpea flours and stuff like that. So you can just buy a bunch of beans. You know, you don't have to blow a bunch of money and stuff like that. It's just it's time consuming, but I mean I enjoy it.
I was just gonna say, how long does it take?
Usually for the mint isn't as long, but the mint took, I think it was like 6 hours. maybe a 6-7 hour dehydration. Yeah.
That's like a slow roast pork.
Yeah, that's what it is. Pretty much what it is. But you can tell, like, you know, because they're all like different sizes and stuff, so it's a little more difficult with like plants and stuff like that. Because you know, some of the leaves will be bigger than the others, so some will be dry and some won't. But just gotta wait it out.
I am drinking an orange Energized green tea. Is loaded with caffeine. Loaded.
Feeling the energy.
I mean, I think I need. I don't know about you guys. I've been up since about 7 this morning because
I've been up since like 5:30.
Oh my gosh, that is
Cool.
early. That is early. That is really. I think you've been up at probably up with my daughter. My daughter was up at that time. Yeah, she came into our room. And you know what I hate about like when my daughter comes into my room? Like she doesn't just like come into my room. Like no, she like it's a whole like extravagant like entrance. Like she just throws the door all the way open and bangs on the wall and she's like, I'm here, I'm coming in your bed.
It's like a Marvel fanfare.
Yeah,
that's right. You gotta have an entrance,
nothing, bro.
You gotta have an entrance, man. That's the diva mentality. You gotta have an entrance.
Like, Daddy, are you awake? Like, no. Like, I'm asleep. Like, leave me alone.
I am now. Shoot.
Gosh,
good with that. My little man just stares, so I can feel him staring. So I sit there with my eyes, like, you know, just squinting, and I could just feel him there staring. And he'll whisper every now and then, like, Daddy. But he's good. He's not. But if I blink though, or I peek, then it's over. Then he's like, all right, free for all. Let's jump on the bed. Let's get loud.
You know what's the scariest thing for a parent? Your child in the middle of the doorway at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh man.
Oh, I know, right?
Yo, that is death, bro.
Yo,
like, that is
scary.
Death. I almost threw something at my son one time. Like bro, I was just standing there, like.
Oh man, see that for me, I got like a pretty funny story at that. So I'm a bit of an insomniac, which is I don't know, but it's just here and there. And what's crazy is I don't really do caffeine, but I just function. But so during October, I try to watch like a bunch of scary movies every day of October. Mm-hmm. And this, you know, past Halloween, like coming up, I forgot what I was watching. I was watching this crazy movie with it was like this brother and sister combo, and like they were in this weird house in the cabin, like woods or whatever, and like I'm just kind of dozing off. It's probably like 4 a.m, and I like felt like, you know, when you're dozing off watching a movie, you don't feel like you're falling asleep. So it felt like I blinked and he was right next to my bed, and oh man, like I could have kicked. Like I was terrified. I was like, oh my god, and he's just standing there, and I was like, oh man, it was a nightmare. But stuff like that happens often, you know, especially in October because I'm already setting myself up. But
something similar like that happened to me in October. You know, my wife, she does the same thing. She watches a whole bunch of, you know, Halloween movies and stuff like that. Yes. And we was actually watching The Haunting of. It wasn't that one. It was the Bly Manor one. Mm-hmm. Right. So that one wasn't really all that scary, but the thing is, it's like the way that my room is set up with, you know, my games and like the controller setup. So all the controllers, like they're on their docks and everything, but there's one specific one that I have the PS4 and the VR controllers all together. They're like all on one charger and stuff. Like, and it's really weird because I call it the penis jigger because that's literally what it looks like. Like, all right, so like the two PS super pose. So the two PS4 controllers go on the front, and then on the back, it's the two VR controllers.
The move controllers. Yeah.
So, but you know, it's circle, so it literally looks like a penis.
Yep.
Just sits there. There's just so. Anyways, there's 4 green lights on them. You know, and you know they turn green, I guess, when it's fully charged. So at night, it's just blaring on the side of the wall. And we had just got matter of fact, this wasn't in October, this was December. We had just got done watching the Christmas Carol movie, the animated one with Jim Carrey. It was on Disney Plus, and I didn't realize like how creepy that movie really is. Like when the Grim Reaper comes, because the Grim Reaper is just nothing but a shadow and stuff, and it just like follows him. He's like, I'm Christmas death and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, this is not that bad. Like, you know, I'm more worried about my kids. But then it was nighttime. And that light is blaring off of my wall. And my chair, like usually I push in my chair and everything, but my chair was actually out. So the way that my chair was set up and the way that the shadow was projecting off of the wall, it did
big penis
like
Grim Reaper.
Oh my God.
like, and I freaked the fuck out. I'm waking up my wife like, do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see that? She's like, babe, what? And I'm like,
the penises.
do you not see?
She's like, what?
With his penis out, like, you know. And yeah, I was totally freaked out. I ended up turning the charger piece around, so now it's like facing the light is facing on the wall. Yeah, so yeah, that was a whole ordeal for me. My wife still makes fun of me about it, so you know, there's that. There's definitely that.
Oh man, that's terrifying. But I get it, man. I get it. That's like when I had that booth here, the recording booth, which I took down. I had this huge recording booth, and it's just terrifying in general.
In the middle of the night, shadows are like
shadows, yeah.
Shadows is like, you know, even if you like, and your eyes play tricks on you, especially when you're coming out of sleep. Yeah. Like your eyes always play tricks on you. You know, my wife always says like this. She saw red lights dancing in my old apartment back in Staten Island. She said she saw red lights dancing on a wall. And I'm like, no, you didn't. And she's like, I'm telling you, it was like alien shit. And like, I'm like,
we gotta move.
He was asleep. Like, don't say shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't want to be awake to deal with this.
I don't. Like, don't tell me shit like that, because now I can't sleep. I already can't sleep on a regular.
So now you mess it up for the both of us.
Yeah, you know, like thanks. Like, fuck that. You ruined my sleep for me, because now when you wake up in the middle of the night, you're thinking about it. Like, you're looking for it and shit. Like, that sucks.
And then it's like your phone charging, and then that's what it turns out to be, a phone charger.
Yeah,
just
right.
Lights, and then you're just like, you woke me up for that.
She woke me up one time because she said she heard a loud bang, and she's like, did you not hear that? I'm like, it probably was outside. And she's like, no, it was in the house. It was a door closing. And I'm like, it could have been the neighbors. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, what you want me to do? Like, you want me to go check it out? Because I'm not.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
No, I am not.
See me, I wake up like ready to go. Like I'm like in the living room, like ready to rock. Like I'm ready to go. It could be the smallest thing. I have these, you know, like the paper towel holders, but it's put up with what's it called? It's like that.
Those command strips.
Command strips, yeah. So I had one on my fridge. I still have it on the fridge, but sometimes it falls off. So it'll fall off middle of the night, but it sounds, middle of the night, it sounds way louder than it is. And I'll be in the living room in like 0.3 seconds. Like I'm off the bed, like I'm in there immediately. But hey, you got to be ready.
You get Batman out that shit, just like.
I usually look for my dog's reaction. So if she's not barking, I'm like, all right, we're good.
Oh, so yeah, you're good there.
Yeah.
I don't have a dog. I got little beasts that act like animals, but they'll see anything. Like, I could literally blast music and my kids just be knocked out. Like, out.
Yeah.
Me, no. Littlest noises. I mean, not the littlest noise. It got to be like a significant noise.
I'm a light sleeper because I don't sleep as is, but I'm like certain things that just don't sound normal. Like I need a lot of white noise. If it's something breaks that, then I'm immediately up.
I remember one time my wife had she forgot to lock the front door. And it was really this was recent. This was here, and she didn't lock the door. Whatever. It has to be like 2:00 in the morning. It's windy as hell outside. Rain. The front door swings open. The alarm's going off.
Oh man.
And she's like, "Is that the alarm?" And at first, I'm like, "Nah, I'm waking up at sleep." I'm like, nah. And then, my mother's room is downstairs. So it's like, if my mom's not reacting, then it's cool. But then again, my mom's like a real deep sleeper. I'm talking about like, I could be in her room rummaging around and stuff like that. And then like,
she won't know.
Yeah, she won't know. Like
she's catching up. She's catching up on all the sleep that her kids made her lose. That's what it is.
Yeah, so I ended up going downstairs. I pull out my gun. I go downstairs, and I'm literally walking.
You
I turned off the alarm. I did.
Leaving New York here.
That like just walking around my house with my gun, and I really feel like like one of them like detectives. I'm moving like
in a robe. in a robe.
I'm like, rolling over. I'm like.
He's role playing. A robe, he got a trench coat.
He's got a robe on and a hair tie.
I'm literally in a robe, boxes and everything.
Yeah, looking crazy.
So cool. Like if somebody was just in the kitchen just eating and just saw me and they was just like, well, okay, like you either gotta shoot me or like beat me up because I'm gonna tell everybody. Like, and I'm in like the most colorful robe in the world. Like. I'm wearing my wife's robe, so it's like, like I gotta shoot him. I gotta shoot him at this point.
This can't get out.
And so it ended up being, just the wind or whatever. I locked the door, and I come on stage, and she's like, "Is there anybody there?" And I'm like, "What do you think?" Like,
yes, I
told him. I walked him out.
Saw me in my robe.
So the next morning, I asked my mom. I'm like, "Ma, did you not hear the door open? Did you not hear the alarm going on?" She was like, "Oh. I thought that was in my dream." I'm like, oh my God. She would have been the first to die. Her room is like right
sleep.
There. Like,
that's how you know it was a good sleep.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wasn't dreaming that.
She's different. Comes to sleep, my mother is different. Man.
So, Johnny, about the tea. So, like, what were you always into tea, or you happened to it at some point?
It more so. I'm not really big on. I'm not like the biggest coffee drinker or anything like that. I'm not big on like caffeine and stuff. I usually drink like stuff like this more for like the nutrient value. Like I'll mix up some stuff that's good for me, kind of like forcing my to program myself. Like, all right, this is how I'm gonna get these vitamins in the morning, or this is how I'm gonna get these, or just depending on the time type of thing. But not really for like caffeine or anything like that. And it's also just good for.
I'm sorry. Were you ever a coffee drinker? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, not really. I when I do drink coffee too, everybody's like, "Oh, it's gross." I do like straight black coffee. Like I don't do anything crazy.
You're in the right place. Like,
I don't put anything.
Yeah. 3 out of 5 of us drink our coffee black.
Yeah, I don't need the sugar and the cream. I don't want it to taste like a cake. Like I don't understand how people do it. I'm doing it for like the properties of like what it's supposed to be used for. Not,
right. I mean, well, if it's supposed to be healthy, then you're supposed to drink it just straight black.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's supposed to, I mean, like in theory, the reason I got like when I used to drink a little bit of coffee every now and then, it would be in the morning because like, your body goes through the whole like clearing cycle. So it's like, why not help yourself to something that's like somewhat of a diuretic, something like that'll help you cleanse. And it's water, it's mostly water too. So it's like, that was kind of the reason for doing it. And, I keep it with that too. Like, that's just the perfect time to do it. Not really for like the caffeine and stuff like that.
Okay.
But doesn't
Let me ask you something. Like I drink coffee all the time, no problem. Let me ask you guys if you've ever had this issue. But I tried to switch to tea before, but if I drink tea without eating something first, it makes me so lightheaded and dizzy. But I could drink coffee all day without eating anything.
I don't know. If it's making you light, are you doing it with Are you doing it with caffeine? Because tea. So the thing
regular
with tea,
green tea. Yeah,
doesn't tea have like natural caffeine?
Tea has natural caffeine, but it's also dehydrating. It's also like somewhat dehydrating.
Coffee is naturally dehydrating.
I definitely gotta have water with the tea or something to eat.
Yeah, it's definitely like to have both.
Do you use milk in your coffee?
Sorry, David.
I'm sorry, Giselle. You can go.
How many cups do you have a day? Would you say?
I usually just go with one, and then I'm just drinking water all day. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like a water drinker. I try to knock down almost like 1.5 gallons a day.
That's good.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Very healthy.
I feel like
that's a lot.
It's good for you.
That is a lot.
You get your alkaline water on. I get my alkaline water on, then I'm good, man. I like to just powerhouse it, and I'm because you never know. You never know if I'm gonna get a pickup game or something like that. I'm not trying to be cramping on the court, out of nowhere. You never know. So I want to make sure I'm hydrated. But that's how I've always been.
No, I was still on Lauren. I was like trying to figure it out because I know with coffee, if you drink coffee and you probably put some milk in it, it'll probably hold you over for a little bit. And also, like, coffee just suppresses your appetite sometimes. So it could be that the tea is not that much caffeine, so your body's like, I need a little something else.
I usually don't even put sugar when I drink tea. I just drink it.
Yeah. I don't use sugar. I put honey in my tea.
Same. Yeah, I love honey in my tea too.
Once in a blue, but not really.
Usually, if your body is like, hey, I'm getting a headache towards something, if you switch something out, it's kind of like a form of withdrawal. So if your body's used to having something at a certain time and you switch it up, then that's just like withdrawals. You know what I'm saying? It's like a small form of withdrawals. So it could be like you eating.
That's probably where that lightheadedness is coming from, Lon.
Yeah, it's like you need to, your body's like, let me fulfill that. Like if you did tea every day for like a week, then you'll be good. I doubt you'll have headaches after that, but you'd have to be consistent.
It wasn't headaches. It was just lightheaded. Like, I don't know. I thought it was like a caffeine rush.
Like, is this what
I do like when I'm dieting, I should say, I try not to drink coffee and I'll switch over to tea. And I'll try to drink my tea like first thing in the morning, get the day going. But if I don't drink water first or eat something first, then I get really lightheaded.
I feel the power.
So Johnny, what have your as far as your vegan recipes, what have you perfected?
Yeah, I want to hear about the bacon.
I got some so the bacon the bacon is solid. The bacon's good. It's got, depending on how long you cook it for, which it only takes like 5-10 minutes to get ready, you can get it super crunchy, you can have it with a little bit of bite. So that one's pretty solid.
What do you put in it? Like, how do you make it?
It's crazy. So it's rice paper.
Okay.
So you wet that a little bit, and it's pretty much like a mixture of stuff. So I have like a marinade essentially that kind of has the flavor of bacon. It's got like the liquid smoke. You can throw a little bit of like some dark syrup in there, and whatever seasonings you want, like however you like your bacon, you want it to have like a super flavor. So you kind of stack 2 of those, and then you broil it essentially in the oven. So when it's a little wet and you broil it, you put like 2 layers. So you throw a little salt in between, so it'll kind of puff up. So it gives you it feels like the fatty bubbles.
Okay.
And then it'll also, if you broil it, it gets that crisp to it too. So you pretty much shape it out. Like it's interesting, like when you see it, but it's like just thinking of the consistency of like rice paper and stuff like that. It's like a simple thing, takes 2 seconds to make. It's not like as high, and like sodium and stuff like that. And it gives you the same effect. Like it's dope on a sandwich and stuff like that. But as far as like
some pictures, so we could
post
it on our Instagram.
I got
we'll post it on our Instagram.
But
you gotta do like an Asthma bacon video.
yeah. Oh yeah. I do have a video because the day like when I got it, like the way I wanted it, I was hyped. So I was sending everybody. I'm like, peep the crunch. Like, look at this. But the couple other things that I think that I like nailed. I do a really good like vegan mac. I usually do like my own cheeses, so I can do like a nacho cheese or something that's you can slice. I actually just got really good at like doing like the sausages, but that's for anybody who likes who can eat gluten.
Okay.
But I can do like a really good sausage. I made like a really good meatball. I actually had one recipe that I found online, and me and my lady made it, and it was dope. It was like a vegan, like a crab mac. But it was with heart of palms, if you guys know what those heart of palms are. Yeah. So you kind of soak the heart of palms in you throw some seaweed and some like seasoning and water, and it kind of takes on the flavor of like, it's like that oceany type flavor. And then you make like the vegan mac with it, and it was really good. And I was like, oh, this is a banger. Good. Like no one would know.
What do you make the cheese with?
So there's a lot of different things. So with that, usually my go-to would be that, or I like to go more towards like walnuts because they're better for you. They're better for you. And but if you have like the plain cashews, you can do that. A lot of the times I'll do it with I use a lot of chickpea flour. Chickpea flour is like my go-to thing.
Are like
super
when you're trying to not eat meat. I was vegetarian for like 10 months before quarantine started. Once quarantine started, it was over with.
Like, we're gonna go out. I'm gonna eat what the hell I want. We got some.
No, I was like, whatever's in the supermarket, that's what I'm gonna eat. Cause whatever's left, exactly.
Yo, what's crazy? So I had a crazy thing with quarantine with It was like, the Facebook arguments, people just get a little crazy, a little wild and all that stuff online. But it kind of like, is why too I like to just like share a lot of the stuff that I make. So long story short, quarantine happened, and this lady I know, this girl I went to school with, went on this huge rant. She was like pretty much cursing out anybody who's grabbing milks that they don't need because that's all that was available. And she's like, oh, my daughter can't have this, so I have to do this. And she's like, oh, so if you don't drink oat milk regularly, don't grab this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, you're over here crying on the internet, but like oat milk takes 3 minutes like to make and it saves you money. I'm like, you're over here shoving like this $8 gallon of oat milk with all these chemicals and stuff in kids' throat. You could literally buy some like pure oats, organic oats for like a 10-pound bag for dirt cheap. You throw some ice in a blender, you could make it taste however you want. And you're over here crying on the internet.
My sweet and creamy oat milk.
Yeah. And she was like going off, and I'm like, yo, it's really not that hard. And she like messaged me like, oh, well, I don't know. And I sent it to her, and she's just like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was that easy. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yo, I make the oat milk. My little man loves his, he loves his breakfast cereal like any other kid. So I was like, since I don't want to get him garbage cereal, I'm going to make this oat milk taste like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I throw a little honey, a little cinnamon in there, and it's good milk. And it's, you know what I'm saying? You can make it however consistency you want. And it doesn't taste like oatmeal, for people who know how to do it right. And she was just like, oh, I would have never known.
Wow.
And that's saving money.
That's dope of you. Because you could have easily went like, yo, why are you crying? Quit your bitching. But you illuminated her.
Yeah. Just went and bought all the oat milk.
It's just A and B. That's it.
That's cool. It's like a parent thing. Like if this company, if this grocery store didn't provide this for you, are you just going to give up?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if your kid needs something in their diet and everybody bought it out, you're just going to quit. So it's like, like you could make all this stuff from scratch. Like,
I think people are just so used to having everything readily available. Like you go to the store, buy what you need, and that's that. Like that wholesome cooking doesn't happen like it used to anymore.
Yeah. And that's what's crazy. Cause like once you dive back into that, like that's one thing like COVID really taught me was like diving back into like learning things from scratch. Then I realized I'm like, yo, a lot of this is a scam. You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I paying all this money? Like, why am I paying all this money? Like realistically, like you can get a 2-pound bag, even if it's not organic oats for the people that are afraid of organic things because they think it's more expensive. You can get a 3-4 pound bag of those oats for like $5, but like the gallon's like $8. And that 5-gallon thing can last you like that 5-pound bag, 3-pound bag can last you months.
Right. Oat milk has a long expiration date too, so like you're good.
It can literally
like
last you months, maybe. And like you don't even have to make. Yeah, it can last as long as the dry oats you have them there, and you don't need to use it. Like 1 cup, I can make a half a gallon of. You know what I'm saying? 1 cup.
Half a gallon. Wow.
So if you do the math, like a cup to a 3-pound bag is nothing.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of things that
buy like a gallon of. I know someone who used to buy like 2 gallons of milk a week because their kids was drinking that much milk, and that's expensive.
Yeah, that's expensive. And milk
I don't know how milk costs, but it's like $5 a gallon, right? Maybe more.
4 or 5.
About so.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, and milk doesn't stay the same price. Milk changes.
Oh yeah, it fluctuates. Yeah,
because it's one of those things that people just feel they need. So the price is whatever. Because no one ever goes, "Oh man, I'm gonna get this because it's on sale. It's milk." You're just gonna go buy it. Yeah. So it's like
it's one of those staples. You're right. Just like eggs too.
Eggs definitely fluctuate. Yeah. I find eggs out here a lot cheaper than back home in New York, and the milk as well. I mean, I could get a gallon probably for like $3.50. And I feel like that was the old price, like when I was growing up back home. Like gallon milk was like $3, $3.50, but now it's like $5. Eggs out here, I could get probably like 18 for like maybe $1.50.
You're also closer to like that farmland area.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, so you're getting
so much easier for you. Yeah.
So I'm getting like, I could literally get the organic stuff for like a lot cheaper than probably like in the city because you guys,
you could walk the block and steal someone's eggs if you wanted to.
I could steal a chicken. Still a whole.
I got some leftover eggs. You want some?
My aunt lives in Florida and she has like chickens and hens and she collects eggs every morning and they last so long. She doesn't refrigerate them. It's like when I first saw it, it was the weirdest concept to me. But just thinking about how much she's saving,
how self-sufficient it is too.
Yeah, it's so easy. She's like, oh, I'm just gonna go grab some eggs.
Yeah.
The craziest thing.
Yeah, it's and like stuff like that. It's like it's so simple. Like you can knock off a lot of like a little bit of financial stress as far as just like being a parent or in general. Like I would even imagine you're a college student out here and you know how college students eat. You don't have to eat that ramen noodles every night and ruin your metabolism in your 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do other things that can help you out. Like, and that's why I took that kind of approach and I brought it towards like the vegan approach. That's why I was like, oh man, I like chickpea flour. And I'm like, chickpea flour is not even that expensive, but I'm like, but if I bought this, $3 5-pound of Goya chickpeas, like the dried stuff, I can make my own. And then I started learning all the things that can work with that. So it's like you got chickpeas, then you could soak it, then you take the water from that, you got aquafaba. That stuff's a good egg substitute. And you got all these things all from like one $3 purchase. You know what I'm saying? And I got stuff for months. Like I can mix it up. I'm not just eating chickpeas. And like there's just a lot of things that people you take a little bit of time, and I feel like COVID was the time. We had everybody was home, so you had no worries. It wasn't like, oh, I'm missing out. Like everyone's doing like we're all watching Tiger,
doing the same thing. Yeah,
we're all sitting at home.
When you do eat meat, what's what is your crush?
Wings.
Like what's your go-to?
Chicken wings.
Okay,
chicken wings.
Ooh, yeah.
Chicken wings.
Okay, wait. Before you answer, how often do you eat meat?
Yeah.
I usually I treat it like this. I treat it like going out like for a casual drink. Like, if I'm gonna hang out with the boys, I'm not gonna, succumb them to my picky menu, choices and stuff like that. So it's more so like when I call it when I want to party. So it's like, oh, I'm having a good day. I'm gonna get me a bunch of wings. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like that. Like, same as when I would go drink. I don't drink every night. But if I want to go have a drink, maybe I want to have some wings. Maybe I want to have a steak. But wings are usually my go-to thing because you can have wings in any way. There's all the different. You can put all the different flavors of wings. So I'm like,
so what's your favorite wing? Like, what's your favorite sauce?
Yo, I am a masochist when it comes to like hot stuff. I love so any place that if I'm gonna go buy wings from a place, I'm like, whatever's the hottest you got, double it. You would
love it out here. You gotta come visit Nashville. I'll take you to this place.
You got Nashville.
They got Nashville hot. Oh my gosh, it is hot.
I love it. That's my stuff right there.
I went to this bar and they had like a challenge. If you could eat like 10 of these wings, then you could have free drinks for the rest of the night. I had one wing. One.
Oh, shoot.
You're taking me there, and I'll show you how to do it. I've done a few hot wing challenges, and I've crushed them. I love spicy food.
Wow. Yo, I'm telling you, I have one. First of all, I was sweating before I even bit into the wing.
That's how you know it's good.
It was that hot, and then I was just, oh my gosh, like nothing I drank after that. It was just, everything was just on fire. I couldn't drink beer for the rest of the night. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to drink like stuff like, all right, let me smoke these back. Like, I'm gonna get drunk.
I actually got so back in the day I used to love that show Man vs. Food. Have you ever seen that? So he had this one spot he went to in Brooklyn, and it was one of the wing challenges that destroyed him. And it was like you had to eat 6 of these stupid hot wings in like 5 minutes. And it was 6 small wings, but they were like crazy hot. This is when the Carolina Reaper like was first getting introduced. Oh, actually, no, this is when the Ghost Pepper was first like out there. So I used to be obsessed with the show. Whenever I traveled, I'm like, let's go to these places where he ate and stuff like that. So I went to that place and I like crushed it. And I was like, all right, I'm like, I might have a tolerance more than most people. So what was crazy though, that day, when I went and I crushed it, I got a t-shirt for it. Some dude who was there, this guy who was like the number one on the list, he was like, yo, I learned something crazy from eating this. And I was like, oh, what'd you learn? So I say this to anybody who's eating like stupid, hot, spicy food. The secret to getting it, like to get rid of it really quick, he carried a little thing of like the Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo. And there's something chemically in baby shampoo that stops it immediately. Like immediately.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like the second it touches your tongue, it stops it. And I was like, oh my God. So I tried it. I was like, all right, I'm going to try it because this, so crazy people in Brooklyn, you got to
swish it around in your mouth?
Just you don't even have to swish it for long. Like the second it touches your tongue, it's like done, neutralized. And I was like, what a weird thing to know. But Now I know. Now you guys know. I figured I'd share this man.
I'm gonna start popping up on all these wings.
Link that tip if you want to know the tip. So stop your mouth from burning.
Yep.
We got it.
Immediately.
You don't do that milk, no beer, just Johnson & Johnson.
Faster than all of those. Faster than all those things. All those
Bread,
things kind of just code.
Oh yeah.
Well, I know where I'm going this week. Back to that spot. I'm gonna get those time. I'm drinking the rest of the day.
Oh, you
guys.
got the shampoo in the house already,
Yep.
Luke?
You just coat your mouth with baby shampoo before you eat the wings. They're like, yo, he's eating as fast as hell. You're just swallowing these things. Yeah, man, it's crazy. But yeah, he taught me. I was like, what a weird dude, but I get it.
That's I mean, like, first of all, when you get soap in your mouth, it's like the worst thing to get in your mouth, you know?
But you taste only soap. You only taste soap. That's the thing you learn from it. Like, everything's canceled. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever taste you had in your mouth is gone.
That is crazy.
Yeah. What about the sensation of hot, though?
I love it. Oh, no, the sensation of hot. So the burning won't do, but you'll be numb. You know what I mean? You'll still have that like numbness, like the stuff that like the capsaicin does. But yeah, but it's that feel like it won't be like burning. You know what I'm saying? Like that burning is gone. Oh, wow. Your nose will still be running and stuff like that. You know, if you swallow it, I guess it won't burn your insides, but I wouldn't, go that far.
I'm gonna try it.
Please don't.
Don't drink baby shampoo.
Hey, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it and let the people know. You know, what I mean, I feel like we gotta have like these scientific variables. You know what I'm saying? Like,
go live.
Let's see what exactly works. You know, like
you gotta go live.
Man in Tennessee hospitalized after ingesting wings and shampoo.
I'll be at
Johnson & Johnson shampoo.
I will be at Vanderbilt. Sir, what are you here for today? I was eating hot wings and I swallowed some Johnson & Johnson
burping up
baby
bubbles.
shampoo. You know, that's what happened. Yeah, what's that movie that he was? He had the bubble. Is that Little Giants? He was doing he had swallowed the bubbles and he was just burping bubbles. What movie is that? It's a old movie.
I know Willy Wonka did it. I know Willy Wonka had it.
Yeah, Willy Wonka, but there's another one. This is one of the old movies, man. I'm gonna look it up. And I'm gonna get back to everybody with that one. So,
if you know the movie, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, please. So going a little bit further, as far as your vegan experiment, what else? Because we on the show, we like to always indulge into our quarantine habits, hobbies that we've learned, and things that we kind of picked up. What other I guess hobbies, I would like to say, did you pick up on during quarantine?
Oh man, honestly, so it's crazy because like a lot of people ask me, and I'm like, yeah, where do I start? So I started diving into so many different things. Like I took it as like a crazy opportunity to start. Like I started learning music theory. I started learning like just a lot of basic stuff with like video recording and like photography. Like I got my my beat machine. I started making beats and stuff for my music, and I just started learning a bunch of stuff. I started learning like video editing and like computer animation stuff, a little bit of programming. I took a few certification tests. Like I really dialed in like to where I started adding things, part of like a routine, to where I had alarms. It was like, all right, it's 1 o'clock. Let's do 2 hours of studying this. Let's do 2 hours of this. And I started getting back into like planting my stuff again. Like, because I've been in this apartment for about a year, and I had to move in here under like crazy circumstances, but I started getting back into planting things, like the dehydration stuff. I started experimenting with different bean flours and learning different textures, and like just a lot of cooking stuff. Like even with like the milk thing, with like the pulp of like the oat pulp, or like if I do walnut milk, I started learning how to make cookies, like healthy cookies for my little man and like stuff like that. Like I really started diving into just learning the ins and out of things and being super like resourceful, to the point where I was like, yo, I'm saving crazy money right now. My little man is the most, like, he's an athlete. He's like an Olympic athlete right now. He's got all the energy in the world, but he sleeps well. I feel like I'm young. I was playing basketball literally like 6 days a week during like the summer outside, and everybody's like, oh, your knees don't hurt. I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm 16. Like, wow. Like I can't help it. Yeah. I'm like grabbing rim. I'm damn near dunking again. I'm like, what's going on? I'm a big guy. And I was just like, yeah, this is crazy. So I started like just really getting into that stuff and like just learning a lot about like my body and like this, that, and the fifth, and like just a lot about like the human anatomy too. Like, and that's one of the things like with the veganism, that one thing that like shocked me was learning how different things, when they react to your body, how they react to your body, and like how long your body holds on to things. So like, for example, like I didn't know chicken can stay in your body for up to 5 to 6 days. Same thing with like gluten. So people are like, oh, I'm a vegan, they eat gluten every day. They're just packing in this stuff that like takes a really long time to break down. And I learned a lot of this from, I did a juice fruit cleanse, and I did 7 days of just like alkaline fruits, just watery fruits, just grapes, watermelon, you know, all the really watery fruits, all organic. And by like day 6, I had like a crazy, you know, purge. And I was like, what the like, this is what's been hiding. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. Like, I never want to see like this, you know, sort of stuff come out of my body again type shit. So I was like, oh, sorry for cursing. But yeah, like, I was just like, that's just a crazy experience. And then I started learning like with like food pairing and stuff like that. Some of it was heartbreaking, like learning that like you shouldn't be eating starchy foods with like meats you can't eat. You shouldn't be eating meat with potatoes and stuff like that. And I'm like, heartbreaking. But also like learning when you're doing your morning fruit shakes, you shouldn't be adding vegetables to it. That's bad food pairing. You know what I'm saying?
Are you serious?
Yeah, like your body reacts best to, you do fruits in the morning, because usually between like in the morning when you wake up till about like 11 is when your body's just trying to cleanse.
Okay.
So your body shouldn't be trying to break down food during that time. It should be getting rid of everything, because once everything's clear, then your body absorbs things better. Then it absorbs nutrients better. Then it breaks things down better. So it's like you're stopping that once you're putting that, you know, the vegetables and the stuff that have like the stronger things to break down, rather than the fruit that's just water. You know what I'm saying? So it's like little things like that I learned about, and like a lot of reading. It was like shocking to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people. So
you should have vegetables later in the day.
Yeah, you should. And usually with vegetables, you should be having vegetables by themselves, like the pairing, because you want them to be absorbed. Like if you're just piling things in, which we love to do, we love to mix our foods and stuff. You're sending your body a bunch of signals, and your body's working hard. That's why you can eat a small bit of this and that, like vegetables, this, but you get tired and like, oh, it's the itis. But it's like, no, your body is literally telling you like, chill, like slow down. You should be tired. You know, we should be energized. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you learn these little things, and like I learn it through me, and I see my little man, like his reaction and stuff like that. And I'm just like, he's going to be the purest form. He's small. Like he's got the best, you know? So it's like stuff like that. And then if I give him like a little bit of sugar, he is like nuclear fuel, you know, he is powerful. And I'm like, yo, but like stuff like that, you realize that stuff affects our bodies. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I just started really learning about that. And I was like, I just want to feel good. You know, I want to feel, I don't want to be sluggish. I don't want to do this and that. And like, I kind of like program myself to do it. Did you
read that book? I think it's called 100 Ways Not to Die.
So my mom actually, I gave it to her when I finished it. Cause my mom is like, you know, I'm Haitian. So my mom is very rice and pork and, you know, all the good Haitian stuff, but heavy deep frying. And my mom's not old. My mom just broke 60, and she's just like, yo, I don't feel great. You know, she's like tired all the time. And I'm like, yo, trust me on this. You know, and I had my mom getting into it, and my mom was hitting me up every day, like, yeah, I did this many miles. I went to the park. I feel great. She's having a blast. My brother's like, yo, you're trying to kill me. She's been cooking. Like, he's like, she's not eating any of it. Like, I'm dying over here. But like, you know, you can see those changes, and they happen like pretty quick. And like, you know, it's just like, yeah, I feel like people should want to feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of that for me came from like, I want to be a young, energetic, annoying dad when my little man is there. Like I'm trying to school him on the court. Like I don't want him to ever beat me in ball until he's in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm my own. So it's just like, yeah, why not? I mean, I had the time. I spent a lot of, you know, you spend a lot of time with yourself during quarantine. So it was like, let me learn myself, you know, let me see what my body reacts to. And it's been great. Like he hasn't he hasn't been sick in years. You know, hasn't been. He's in like daycares and stuff like that, and I don't get sick. So it's like, and people are like, oh, I don't know how. You know, kids get sick and all that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but like kids get sick because we're exposing them to that. Like kids shouldn't be snotty. You know, you're snotty because your body is producing mucus because something's going wrong in your body. Right. That's like the defense. So like that comes with, you give processed food, your body can't break it down because it's not natural, mucus. And when your body's in that state, you get sick. So that's why kids get sick. If you're overfeeding them stuff that like isn't really treating their body the way it should, they're going to be open to getting sick. And then you're going to be around a bunch of kids who fall under that. And that's just the way of the world, you know? So it's like,
it's interesting.
It's crazy that you say that.
Inspirational.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, David.
You mentioned that, you know, you're illuminating like your mom. You gave her that book, and then like, she's like, you know, ideas are sparking. But you know, like for me, I come from a Dominican Ecuadorian background. Mostly, I ate Dominican food, so I'm already we like you say,
same
like,
island.
right.
Haitian, we're on the same island, bro.
Yo, we brothers.
Same
like,
island. You know, we eat the same thing. They just call it different because you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the same thing, but. You're right. Like it's so much. It's heavy, starchy. You know, we gather the plate, and then like I'm thinking when I used to work at a hospital, like I'm looking at all the people, like even just Hispanics in general, or just people in that area, diabetes. It's just a disease of excess. You know, that's like the new gout at a young age. So you get like 37-year-olds, 50-year-olds, and they're just like they're tapped out, kidneys shot. Because of the diet, and like they didn't put 2 and 2 together because of that. It's just the custom of eating eating rice, chicken, potato, beans, all that, just pairing everything together. And just because maybe we came from a society where, you know, food was hard to get. So you just had to pack.
Those are the easily accessible things, the cheaper things.
And those are those generational things that like people, you know, those are those things that are hard to break because like,
it's passed
even
down.
Dominican and like from the Haitian standpoint, like my grandma, you know, rest her soul, was like, if you weren't tired after eating her food, where, you know, the unbutton the pants thing, you didn't enjoy her food.
You know
what I'm saying? And that already programmed. Yeah, like that's programmed. And it's like, that's why people like, even like, but look at different cultures, like look at Italians, they eat a billion courses, you know what I'm saying? And like that kind of mentality. And it's like the grandma mentality, like, oh, you got to eat because around their time, food wasn't something, you know, we eat fancy because we feel like we earned it. You know, life is hard, you know what I'm saying? But it's hard to break out of that. Like, that's why people like what's the first things people say to vegans, you know? Oh, how do you get your protein? You don't eat meat? Well, like this and that. And it's like,
you can get protein from literally anything. Beans have tons of protein.
Red lentils, you can buy 5-pound bag for like under $10, and red lentils are a superfood. They got all sorts of protein and minerals.
Everything.
Yeah. And that's easy. You could eat curry all day. Like, and speaking of that, like think of their culture. A lot of people, it's very rare you see someone who has the diet of these spices and these curries and stuff like that. Like a lot of Indian cuisine is vegan, and they're all small for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like realistic, like they're all small, and you know, we're not going to.
They also they get diabetes a lot.
Because their sweets are sweet. Their pastries are sweet.
What would you say? So for the people that's listening, people that's watching, what would be your suggestions for like a morning smoothie and a night smoothie?
Oh man, so I would say fruits in the morning always. Fruits in the morning's always good. And honestly, there is no night smoothie. You shouldn't be eating past 6. You shouldn't be going that no more. Your body should be, when you're asleep, your body's supposed to be like, all right, we're gonna figure out the next day. We're gonna grab this energy. Your body shouldn't be working. It shouldn't be working hard, you know? You're supposed to sleep relaxed, you know, and you eat these foods. Like a lot of people, I guarantee you, if you know anyone who's eating past 8-9 p.m., I guarantee you they have acid reflux. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. It's like, it's terrible. Like it's terrible to have. Like you just live, you're very uncomfortable. But like morning.
So if you would have a vegetable smoothie, it should be more in the afternoonish.
It should be like 1, 2-ish. You know.
What would you put in your vegetable smoothie?
Oh man, so I am look up any vegetables that aren't, and this is a crazy thing, but there's another thing I was learning into, and like, you know, there's the whole like you can read into like Dr. Sebi things and like the electric diet and stuff. But look into a lot of just organic, like real vegetables. Like broccoli's man-made, you know. You know what I'm saying? And everybody loves broccoli, but everybody gets gas from broccoli or this and that from broccoli because it's not a natural thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of man-made. It's crossed. It's between these things. But look into like real vegetables that have been the same since their beginning, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like carrots, crossed. They're man-made. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, oh, they're good for your eyes because that's a sales pitch. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful of those ones because those are the ones that do give you like gas and stuff like that. But then there's certain vegetables like you can eat leafy greens like spinach and stuff, and you're fine. So everybody loves spinach. You know, kale, which is a little bit aggressive because it's super super tough. But like stuff like that, you can feel that difference.
I always wanted to make like kale chips. Like, because people make them, or like they make kale fries and stuff like that, and it has such a great texture to it if you make it correctly. You know, like you could really make them into chips, you know, and they taste super good.
That's where the thing's at. That's what I do.
Imagine.
When COVID started, when I got that dehydrator, if I would get a bunch of, if I would overreact and buy a bunch of fruit because like nobody was buying the produce and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, I got to make this last. So I would do like jams and like free stuff, but I would also do I would dehydrate them. You know what I'm saying? Then you could like prune and all that stuff and get your dried fruit on, and stuff like that is really good. You can do like stuff for like vegetables and stuff. And if it's crunchy, I'm like, hey, some chips, little man. He's like, if it's crunchy and it tastes good, it's a chip, so you can do stuff like that, Stuff like that is very, it's a good time too.
And your fruit smoothies, how do you go about that?
My fruit smoothies, man, I need a lot of water type, like stuff filled with water. So I am like a huge grape guy. Got to get grapes with seeds. It's a pain to get rid of seeds. It is what it is. But grapes with seeds are not, for the most part, not, genetically modified. But I usually do a lot of like watermelons, a lot of stuff that's going to help my cleanse in the morning. So I'll probably do, just to keep myself on board, if I'm going to drink 2 glasses of water in the morning, I want my smoothie to almost amount to about a glass of water in itself with how much water content like of the fruit that I'm having.
Okay.
And then
do you use organic bananas?
I don't eat bananas. So bananas are also man-made.
Really?
So there's certain types of bananas. Bougie with it, but that's stuff that I learned. Like there's certain types of bananas. Like bananas are supposed to have seeds. So like the original bananas. Really? Long story short, there's like the ones that we have, even though they say they're organic, they're not. You can also tell by like whether the coloration, like you shouldn't have a 2-color banana. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that is like signs of it. But I do a lot of like melon, grapes, mangoes are my jam. You know what I'm saying? Mangoes. Yeah, you get
mangoes are amazing. Mangoes. Haitian mangoes are
Oh, so and then you can do like if you're bougie, you want to go to Whole Foods, maybe like every now and then they'll have stuff that's in season, so you can get you some yellow dragon fruit, which is quite possibly the best thing ever. If you find it, they're super sweet, just naturally super sweet. Like dragon fruit's good, but the yellow ones like always sweet, very easy to eat. And then like if you want to get if you want to spend a little bit, you find some soursop. That's probably the best thing you can find.
Ooh, yes, soursop.
Soursop's good. It tastes like custard, and it's like it's like a cross between pineapple and custard. But if you do find soursop, one thing too, the soursop leaves or like just the skin in general is very very good against like it's anti-inflammatory. It's one of the strongest like cancer fighters out there. So if you do dehydrate that bad boy, because I add that to my teas. You know what I'm saying? Dehydrate the skin, eat all the stuff that's in there. That skin, you can make some teas for it. You can use it for anything. You could powder it, add it to your drinks. Like I do that too. I have like, you can see my cabinets. I got little packets of like dried stuff and all that stuff. But yeah, like stuff like that is really like, there's a reason that stuff, because like the soursop is probably $16 a pound. And those things come 3 pounds minimum. You know, like they're huge, but like, if you really get your use of it, you know, it's really good for you. Stuff like that's really good. But that's usually me. I like to stay with like the, good old melons, and mangoes are probably my go-to.
Okay.
And grapes. I eat grapes all day.
So we're
yellow.
whining.
I'm saying yellow. What was it? Green or purple?
Whatever's seeded. Whatever they got, that's got seeds, because grapes are always a mix and match. None of the like the weird stuff where it's like donut. You ever see those weird cotton candy?
Cotton candy.
Cotton
Yeah.
candy, yeah.
Yeah.
Those lab grapes away from me. All right, give me
I'm
So
not your
anything
lab rat.
that's
Don't test that on me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want this. But if you see anything seeded, I usually go for like the organic seeded stuff. That's usually the good stuff.
Okay, so we're winding down on our episode. Tea to go. And
Tea.
just for closing, what suggestions or what advice would you like to give to the listeners?
Oh man, I mean, it's simple, man. I don't want to be preachy. Just listen to your body, man. See how your body reacts to things. So here's some craziness. So this is one of the things that I tell a lot of people, especially if you have kids, because their bodies react to everything immediately. They're smaller, like their metabolisms are there. But like, if you are a fan of like people that like do McDonald's and stuff like that, just give it a day. Let your kid be as peak shit, not sick, whatever. Give them a chicken nugget from McDonald's. I put money. I will pay you $100 if that kid's nose does not get runny immediately. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the simplest ways of saying, like, listen to your body. But also with chicken, if you go a week without eating chicken or something like that, eat some chicken, go look in the mirror. I guarantee you're going to feel like your face is fatter because it is. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things that happen, like your body does do that, like to start to adjust, to react to it. And I honestly just listen to your body, man. If you want to see some crazy stuff with your body, do a 7-day fruit binge. 7 days, no holds barred. Do all the watery fruits. Just eat grapes, melon, nothing else. And I guarantee you're going to be in shock at what your body has been holding on to.
Wow.
And that's something that's recommended too. I think people should, and it's a gross subject, but people should be more in tune to like doing like a cleanse at least once a month, or once every other month, like doing something to clear your body, because your body needs that reset. You can't just constantly beat your body to death. Like, 3 meals a day, breaking fast, breakfast in the morning. That's like this big harsh breakfast. Like, you're just killing yourself. You know what I'm saying? And people are exhausted, and it's just like, yo, man, listen to your body, bro. Like,
so going on the fruit binge, like if when you do your fruit cleanse and you're gonna do nothing but the fruit smoothies and fruit, how do you go about that every day? Like, do you have 2 or 3 smoothies? How do you go about that?
Binge, I usually will buy a bag of grapes per day. So I usually do 7 days. So I'll buy 7 bags of grapes, and I make it my job to eat a bag of those grapes each day. And then I'll include so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but it's called a Yonanas. It's like a household thing. It was like an as seen on TV thing that I bought 1 billion years ago, and I was like, this is still the most clutch thing I have. So you take some fruit and you freeze it, like pretty much get it to where it's almost fully frozen, and then you throw it in the Yonanas, and it sorbets it. So and that's how I trick my lemon. He thinks it's ice cream. Perfect. So he's eating fruit for ice cream. I'm good. But like, you get like something like that, and you just incorporate like the melon and fruit and stuff like that. And honestly, day one's always going to be tough, because you're going to have withdrawals from food. It just is what it is. Food is the world's like legal drug. It's the only drug we can throw advertisements on TV and like no one can bat an eye, whether it's processed garbage. Like, so day one's always the toughest. Day 2, it's a little bit more of a struggle, but by day 3, you'll be like, oh, you'll see it. Like, your mind will be clear, and you'll be like, I don't need these things. And then the last few days will be a lot easier, but that's when like all hell breaks loose, and your body's like, all right, we're going to get rid of this. And I think that's honestly something people should do at least once a month or once every other month, just to, give your body a quick reset, and just to know what's going on in there, because, we take in a lot.
I think I'm gonna take the challenge. I don't know if you guys want to join me, but I do. Down. I would like to go a week with just the fruits. Let's all cleanse. Let's all pick a day where we just all start off together and cleanse together, and do a whole 7-day fruit cleanse, and just see how we feel, and then come back. And we'll add you back on that episode. Tell you exactly how we feel.
Let me know. I had I had Dice do it, and he was like, yo, this is crazy. I don't know if you remember in the chat, but I had a mutual friend of ours, Dice, do it, and day 1 he was miserable. Day 2 he was like, all right, and then after that he's like, I got energy, and he was like losing his mind, but it was good, but it's definitely something that's good. to give your body a good reset. And honestly, try reading the first day you start it, and this is a good way to gauge it. Try reading something. Like I don't know if you read a lot, but like read a book and try to gauge your focus. Like see how much you absorb. And then when you're on like day 4 or 5, try reading the same thing and see how much more you absorb. You're going to be like, yo, I can float right now.
Right.
Like I can levitate because your body shakes all that stuff off. It's like cold turkey, you know? It's like, it's good. That's good stuff. Yeah, but highly recommend it. Let me know when you guys do it.
Yeah, we definitely will. We're gonna all pick a day, and then we're just gonna do it, and we'll bring you back in on that episode. But as far as, sorry, my computer, am I moving? You guys can see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Now you're good.
All right, cool. All right, so wrapping up the episode. Thank you again, Johnny, so much for joining and giving us, because we always, us here at Coffee to Go, we like to be big on self-care. This is, we pride ourselves on being each other's therapy, but also therapy for anybody that listens. So this is really good therapy because it's therapy for it's self-care, it's for your body. So everything that you kind of need to know, if anybody would like to reach out to Johnny, let's hear your socials.
So I'm on everything at JohnDWho. So that's all my social media, my website, JohnDWho, everything. It's part of my rap stuff. It's part of my regular stuff. Everything at JohnDWho. You can find me. And yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy. I talk a lot. So there's that. And even in text.
So let's give him some listeners. Let's go stream his stuff. Let's yeah, you actually do. I do.
I bring it up sometimes.
So everybody go spam his music. Let's get him some more listeners and stuff. And yeah, man, thank you so much for joining. And
thanks for having me.
We gotta pick a day, guys, and
definitely
and do this.
Take it up.
Yeah, and add morning meditations to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's my biggest thing. Add morning meditations. People, they discredit how good they are, but it works. Me and my little man, we do it, and it's a good way for him to start off his day without chaos, because he loves chaos. It's a good way for me to do it too, get him into that. And it's good cleanse. It's a good way to get yourself in check, because you'll need it, because that first day is rough. It's rough. You're going to want to eat everything, like things that you don't even like. You're going to be like, I don't know, the dread of having to just have fruit for a day is going to sneak up on you.
Well, we appreciate it. This is episode 3. Coffee to Go, aka Tea to Go. This episode, I'm the co-host Lou. We have Giselle, David, Lauren. Special shout outs to Shawnee. Please get better. We love you.
Yes.
And thank you so much again to our special guest host, Johnny.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This was fun.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Wish I could paint our love moments in vibrant. Even wordplay turns into gunplay turns into pillow talk turns into sweet dreams turn into coffee in the morning.